for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Good Tuesday evening to everybody, and welcome in to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR SportsBar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Good to have everybody joining us out there, wherever it is that you might be watching or listening to us. Multiple different ways to do that. We'd like for you to call us. The number on the screen, if you're watching on TV, 256-234-6221. Comment away on Facebook Live for all you social media junkies out there. You can tune us in and comment throughout the entire show. That way, Luke, good to see you, man. I know you had a adventurous past weekend with your son out in Arizona, as he made a visit and plans to move to Arizona State shortly. It won't be long, will it?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to work this summer in Ohio, and then he's going to go over there, be there mid-August. So, yeah, it's
crazy.
It's a great place. It's a great – I mean, I love it out there. I mean, it's, you know, the mountains and the Camelback and the whole deal. And it's an interesting vibe. And I'll tell you, it's the only place I've ever been that's actually – it's hotter at night. At night, I was
weird, isn't it?
Sweating like I stole something. But when
did you?
During the day, might have. But during the day, it was fine. I mean, maybe I expected it or something. I don't know, but it was rough at night, man.
Well, you know, I wanted to just kind of start with that a little bit, because you and I have sons that are the same age, and you know, Truett was in this class with Braden before he moved to Ohio, and I know they still stay in touch some, but it's just real surreal, because I remember like yesterday both of them being born, and then now, I mean, just 18 years goes by in this. You and I were just talking about coming into the show tonight. We'll talk about a new hire that we just saw that came across in the high school ranks in the football side, but some of these kids that we saw as kids now taking on jobs as head coaches, but it is surreal. You know, my son will graduate in about 30-something days from Benjamin Russell, and he'll finish up and move on, and he'll go a year at Central Alabama Community College, and then he'll head to Auburn to pursue right now civil engineering. Now that could change, but it is crazy, because I look back, and I was at an event today at Wind Creek. The extension office and the county come together to educate fourth graders on the importance of keeping our water systems clean, the lake, the streams, the rivers, all that stuff, and how important it is not to throw trash in there and where everybody's drinking water comes from. And I got down there and I had flashbacks, and I was like, I remember when Braden was down here, and I was like, my God, that was 8 years ago. You know, it's just crazy how fast time goes by. And I know to kind of relate it to sports, Alabama, Nick Saban being at Alabama as long as he's been there, and you've said this more than anybody, you know, that day is going to come to an end one day. You don't know when that'll be, but you're going to look back on this thing and the run, you know, because I look back at Auburn and some of the really good years they've had, the 04, the 05, those 6 years, and then you go up to, to 10, and then the 13 and the 17 years. You look back and you go, man, I can remember a lot of stuff that went on just like it happened yesterday. So time just rolls right on, Luke.
It stops for no man.
It doesn't, and it's a thief. So, but just kind of wanted to start there, because we do have, just coming in here in this area of the state, Kyle Caldwell, according to a source that we have, named the new, or accepted maybe the new head football coach at Elmore County High School. So Kyle Caldwell, a phenomenal quarterback in high school and college. I played his high school ball at Dadeville High School and was phenomenal there. Moved on to play at West Alabama and won the Harlan Hill Trophy. And then he's played some semi-pro ball in some areas, and then now he's been, in the coaching ranks for quite some time. Moved around to a couple of different assistance positions. Was recently the O coordinator at Chelsea High School, and now he will take on the reins as his first head coaching job. And this guy knows football, Luke. You and I talked about it. It's hard to believe he's a head coach, and he is still relatively young. But, he played back in, I think, 9 and 10. So
yeah.
It's been a minute.
Well, it's yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess it's been
12, 13 years.
12 years plus or minus. So, yeah, I mean, he's pushing 30 right at it.
Right.
I mean, look, 30 now is sort of the new 40 when it comes to coaching. You know,
right.
It used to be you have to bide your time, and now, like, if you have one good season, they'll bump you up. If you have one good game, people
right.
remember your name. You know, so good for him. I'm happy for him. I mean, I'm glad to see somebody from this area get a job like that, and I hope he keeps shooting up the ranks.
You know, you look at Chelsea, and again, having an opportunity to take a head coaching job that you got, if that's what your desire is in high school football, you got to take that leap and you got to take that job, and you got to make a name for yourself. But man, you look at, and we've gone through this before, but kind of in a hodgepodge of things to talk about to start the program. Boy, that region, Chelsea moved up to 7A, and they are in the region with Thompson and Hoover and Oak Mountain and Hewitt Trustful, just a brutal region for them. And you know, it's an opponent that we've been used to playing around here at Benjamin Russell. We're very, very similar in size, you know, over the last several years. You know, very similar in, you know, competitiveness on the field. Making that jump into that gauntlet they're making a jump into, man, good. It's wild. You don't have their work cut out for them.
I remember very well when I was at Indian Springs, we were 2A. We'd play Chelsea all the time and beat them.
Right.
You know, they weren't the community they are now. They have absolutely blown up. I make that drive on 280 just about every day, and I can tell you, Chelsea's booming.
Yeah, they're trying to, you know,
they're getting up there, and I mean the problem with booming is you're going to keep booming up the classifications.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to boom now.
Yeah.
They better hope they really boom now to get more people in there and to get more athletes to be able to compete. That's just the way it is. So I look at two regions in this state in 7A that are just unbelievable. That region and the one in East Alabama with Phoenix City and Auburn and now Opelika and Enterprise and the teams that are in that region are just that's another brutal region. So, you know, I know we're sitting here talking about high school football in the month of April, but we'll blink talking about time, kind of staying with that theme. We'll be looking at the Champions Challenge or the Kickoff Classic, as they call it now, and then the regular season. We've got spring games coming up. High schools will be starting spring practice. Some have already started. Some will start next week and in the following week as we get ready to close out the school year because everybody will graduate mostly by the end of May. So the next several weeks we'll start seeing teams participate in spring drills and then spring games. I know Benjamin Russell will take on Catholic on May the 13th in Montgomery. So that's a little unique game because Aubrey Blackwell was the former coach at Catholic. He took the Benjamin Russell job coming over from Catholic, and so he'll take Benjamin Russell back over there. He's still got a lot of coaches over there that coach with him. He's still got some really good friends and ties there, so that'll be a fun night down in Montgomery. And Catholic, man, the last few years they've been really, really good. So
yeah, and I assume they'll continue to be.
Yeah, got their running back and their quarterback back. Now I know they lost a good number of players off the defensive side, but May 13th for people in this area, for Benjamin Russell fans, they'll get a chance to go down there. If you got some interesting stuff as far as high school talk concerned, we've got baseball, softball playoffs. You've got soccer playoffs. You've got tennis, golf, all that stuff winding down as far as the spring sports are concerned here, Luke, in the state. And we don't talk a lot, probably near enough about those type sports as we should. But you look at baseball, most teams have wrapped up the regular season, and now they'll head into playoff. I know area plays coming up for softball teams around the state. So it's just that time of year, very, very busy. We'll talk about the Alabama spring game here in just a little bit. I know we're getting close to our first break, but we'll talk about your thoughts on that. And, you know, I didn't get a chance to really see a lot of it. I saw some of it, but I just want your takeaway. And then we've got some questions here, just 5 quick rundown questions of what you think about that spring game, Luke, and what that looked like as far as what Alabama will put on the field coming into the fall. We'll also do some true false. What's the chances? Who you got? Some over and under. We'll have a little fun with that. Some stuff that Brian Harsin will be doing with Auburn football program here in the next couple of months. SEC baseball, Alabama. I told you, Luke, last Tuesday that Alabama would go up there and they would end that streak. They end up knocking Tennessee off in the first game. Tennessee comes back, wins the next two. But just going to Knoxville and playing that gauntlet of a team right now, and frankly, we were in a group text thread. This team is a team that everybody's loving to hate because of the way they don't follow the true baseball etiquette. And I know a lot of people go, well, it's a new day and age and all that. But no, this group is it's all about showmanship and rubbing it in your face and all that. And I guess somebody's got to be the villain right now. Tennessee's a very good baseball team, but the way they handle themselves on the field, it doesn't make it too hard to pull against.
Yeah, the manager goes out and bumps an ump, and that's just something you can't do. And I understand about swagger, and you want to build some confidence. He got suspended 4 games, I think, and he really comes off looking like a jerk, frankly. And the team, they're known for sliding into home, and the one guy who touches the base with it, home plate with his finger. And look, I'm the first one to say that some of baseball's traditions are just frankly stupid. When somebody hits a home run and you feel like they stared you down or whatever, you got to hit the next guy with a pitch.
Right.
It's just stupid stuff. That's just ignorant. But some of the traditions are universal to sports. I mean, it's better to be a good sport in general. Celebrations are fine. But it was funny because Alabama beats Tennessee the first night. They were excited. They didn't pour Gatorade on anybody.
Yeah, I don't think they were overzealous. No.
And the Tennessee
they lost
team lost their mind. They said they act like they won the Super Bowl. Like, no, they hadn't been good. They've been okay. They've been middling. And then they go and beat the number 1 team in the country at their place.
Right.
Why can't they celebrate a little bit? I don't understand that. And it's funny.
They would have done it. They would have done it.
This team's done
you
far
think their
worse
football
than
team
that.
will? You think their football team will?
Well, that's what I said. I said
Alabama?
on Twitter. The guy named Wes Rucker, who is one of the beat writers for Tennessee, said something about it. And I said, yeah, if y'all ever beat us in football again, I bet you'll have a party.
Yeah.
And you know what? I might want to be there. It'd be pretty fun. I mean, yeah, I'd get some ribbing, but y'all, the moonshine will flow like the mighty Mississippi that day. So, that could be fun.
Still yet to beat Saban.
Yet
Still
they haven't. And
Still
I mean, again,
Tennessee
hadn't had a lot of luck against Alabama, period. I mean, Alabama beat them in basketball this year.
Right.
They beat them in basketball.
Auburn has owned them in basketball.
So, I mean, and then, beat them in football,
Right.
beat them that first night. They do really well against them in softball, just on and on in the night. So Alabama beat them in basketball, I think, twice this year, women's.
Yeah.
So I think that it was just Tennessee. You got to, if you're going to give it out like that, you ought to be able to take it.
Oh yeah,
and they didn't do a good job.
And it was their first loss, in the SEC play, and they just.
And they had lost earlier in the week to Tennessee Tech.
I know, right? So they are 33-3 now, which is still ridiculous.
That's still one of the craziest. I hadn't seen a college team with that kind of record.
No,
I mean, they are impressive. I'm not going to take anything away from them. That team's good, and they can knock the cover off the ball.
They can almost to the point where you're almost like, whoa. I mean, their home runs are so much greater than as far as numbers compared to everybody else. It's kind of crazy. Up against our first break of the program. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Welcome back, everyone, to SportsBlitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Can't thank both of them enough for what they do for our programming and being able to provide you this program every Tuesday night. For all of you out there that love to tune us in and watch and comment away, we appreciate it so much. We've got some phone calls, I believe, coming in, so hopefully we can get to those in a little bit. We'll take that cue here in a little bit. Alabama spring game, Luke. Auburn's was last week. Alabama's this past weekend, and just some answers to some questions. You don't get a lot out of A-Day games. It was raining, just not the best day for a spring game when you're trying to just go out there and do something for the fans. But anyway, the first one is, what do you think about Bryce Young? And you don't see a lot out of him, but do you think he's continuing to improve? I mean, the guy obviously had a pretty dang good year last year.
Yeah.
What is there to improve on, really?
Yeah, I think to improve is going to be get some chemistry with some of the new guys. You want to go ahead and take this call?
Yeah, let's grab the phone call.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing great.
No, I ain't gonna do like I've been doing still long. Oh, I want to congratulate Brett. I think he said his boy graduating this year, ain't he?
That's right.
Yeah, he is. Luke's is too.
Yeah, my niece's boy and girl graduates this time.
Okay, good deal. Congratulations.
Alex and Chloe Osmond.
Okay. Good deal.
Did y'all see the A-Day game last night?
Well, I know it was on replay last night. Yeah, but I saw it Saturday too.
Yeah, I seen it last night, but what I seen about it, I think they got some good backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're about to talk about that here in just a little bit. So.
Okay, well, listen, I'm gonna see. That Alabaster boy,
Jeremiah.
He had to wait till fall, or
no?
He's already there.
He's already there. He actually made a sack this past weekend.
Talking about Jeremiah Alexander?
Jeremiah Alexander, yeah, he played.
Well, I know Will Anderson. He was in Bryce Young's face about the whole time.
Yeah, it was. I made a comment to on the podcast I do and said, when you're an offensive lineman and you're playing for Alabama, you're like, this is great. I got Bryce Young behind me, and I'm blocking for him. I got this receiver, and it's great. And you look over there, it's like playing Jeopardy, and you look to your right, and there's Albert Einstein. You don't feel very good about the matchup,
right.
If Will Anderson's behind you. I mean, he's the best. I think Will Anderson's the best player in the country. I'd make the argument he was the best player in the country last year. He's just he's a freak.
Defense looked good.
Yeah, the defense looked pretty good. The offensive line certainly still has some work to do, but, I mean, it's 4 new starters. And, again, you got to remember that these guys, all they have to do is touch the quarterback, and they're down. There are a couple of times somebody may have escaped, but you ain't escaping Will Anderson very often.
Okay, listen, I ain't going to hold y'all no longer.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much.
But let's go back to Bryce Young for a minute. I think I'd like to see some good chemistry between he and some of these new receivers. I like what I saw of some of the young receivers like Aaron Anderson, Kendrick Law, Jermaine Burton. I didn't see as much as I wanted to. Again, it was raining. It just wasn't a great environment.
Right.
But I heard enough about Burton in practice to feel very good about him. Jones Bell made some nice catches. Tell you one guy that really stood out was Christian Leary. Now, he wasn't catching passes from Bryce Young, though. But I found it interesting because we've talked about just about every receiver on the roster except Christian Leary, who actually had to step in and play some running back last year. Alabama was so injury depleted. And he ended up being one of the candidates for most valuable player.
The next one kind of goes hand in hand with Bryce Young. Quarterbacks, period. Alabama's pass protection, you kind of alluded to it. They're all new. Most of them are new. So the pass protection's not going to be as good right now as you would hope. But that's why you got to work your way. Look, you're not going to have veterans at every position coming back, especially, with Alabama and losing players to the draft and all that kind of stuff. But great offensive linemen up front. They got to get some experience.
Well, and I think the other thing you see is Tyler Steen transferring in from Vanderbilt, and Alabama needs him. I mean, I don't think he's going to set the world on fire. I don't think he's a surefire first-round draft pick, but I think he's really good, and I think Alabama's like, we've got all these great pieces. You got a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. You've got really good run. This Gibbs guy is phenomenal.
That's the next one.
And then so you got all that. You got to be able to protect them. They're not good if you can't protect them.
Well, absolutely. I mean, your skill guys aren't anything unless you got the guys in the trenches, and we've talked about that all the time on Auburn Blitz. Auburn's had tremendous players at wide receiver and running back and all, and been a little weak up front, and it didn't matter. So talking about Jamar Gibbs, your thoughts on him? I mean, definitely have an immediate impact on this team.
Yeah, I love Jahmyr Gibbs. He's a guy that was starring at Georgia Tech behind a pretty average team, and now he's going to get a chance to play with some guys that are his caliber. I think he's going to have a fantastic year, and I think he's going to steal some Heisman votes from Bryce Young if both of them remain healthy. I really like Gibbs a lot. Like him out of the backfield a lot. He put some great moves on folks. He had a nice 75-yard run. There was a linebacker that was out of position there, so it's you hate to just say that was all him. There was a bust on the defense, but he did have the speed to beat the safety and the corner to the sideline and end up scoring. So give him a lot of credit for that. And he's going to be exciting to watch.
And Will Anderson, you talked about him a little bit ago. You kind of alluded to all this stuff, but a legit shot to win the Heisman?
He's starting to get a little bit of hype for that because I think people are sort of ready for a defensive player to win it again. And Lord knows if there's been a defensive player better than him in the last several years, I don't know who it is. He's been about as good as there's been, and he's going to do it again this year. And if he has Dallas Turner on the other side, one thing to remember, Will Anderson had such a good year last year, and Chris Allen got hurt the very first game. And so Will Anderson didn't have his quote-unquote running mate. If Dallas Turner can stay healthy, I think both of those Dallas Turner had 3 sacks in the game. Will Anderson had 2 in the 8A. Of course, it's a little different because he's just tagged the quarterback. But, I think Will Anderson's got a shot at it. But, you're never going to give a defensive player much of a shot, much over 10%. No. But he's got one.
They got to do some really superb things. And then finally, the talent level of this team, is this one of the more talented?
I really think so. I really want wide receiver to step up, or a couple of wide receivers. Want to see a tight end step up a little bit. Alabama lost Jaleel Billingsley. And then how about a running back beside Gibbs? I was really happy to see these are things you can take from A-Day. It's not who had the most yards and who did this, or like looking at the whole game. It's the nuance. I saw from Trey Sanders, he hurdled a guy. And I'm thinking, okay, that's the kind of thing he can do. But he's lacked that confidence. When you blow out your knee and then you have a horrible car wreck where you almost die, and that puts you back 2 years,
no doubt.
It takes you a while to get ready. Well, now, when he's out there hurdling people, I'm like, okay, he's getting his confidence back. So I felt good about that. It was good to see, Christian Larry get out there and make some catches because he was sort of a man without a position last year, forced to play some running back. Now, he was not carrying the ball much. He was sort of back there as a weapon on the passing game, but still he was out of position. And, I also was glad to see Jamil Burrows step up on the defensive line. This is a guy that I've been looking for some big things from, and he had a few sacks. He had a great moment. So, and then Jalen Milroe. I mean, dude.
Well, that seems to be the biggest. I was going to say, you haven't mentioned him yet.
Probably. I hadn't mentioned him because here's the thing. It's not like linebacker position where you can say, okay, you got three guys out there.
Yeah.
Quarterback, one guy's going to play.
Right.
And Bryce Young's going to be that guy. You're not overtaking the Heisman winner. And Bryce Young's awesome. But Milroe just looked – I mean, he's got that look about him, Brett, because the other thing, he's so big. There's something about guys – who are that big and that athletic when they don't wear a bunch of wristbands, and he looks huge. And he's just something. Now, he's one of the best throws he made was actually an interception, like showing the power behind his throw. And somebody asked me, I was on a show in Montgomery on Monday morning. They said, who do you compare him to? And I said, that's always such a loaded question. And I said, but – if you're going to make me say, I will say Cam Newton, not because I think he can be Cam Newton.
No, but
because
you got it from a size
big,
standpoint.
He's got the long arms. He's got a swagger about him. He's been through the ringer. He played in a big classification in Texas. And he's powerful. He's fast.
You think he's a guy that will hang around, or maybe a guy that'll hit the portal?
Well, here's the thing. Look, you never know with the portal these days, right? But I think that Bryce Young plays this year, and then he's gone. Bryce, a lot of people think will be the #1 draft pick next year if Will Anderson isn't. Then I think it's Jalen Milroe's show. And I think Milroe will have a 1-year thing. And if Milroe doesn't end up leaving after that year, meaning going pro, that means he probably hadn't performed like we thought he would. Right. So it doesn't matter. I think Milroe's got He's more
got
years.
One shot.
Yeah, I think he's got one shot. Now, if something happens to Bryce, he'll be the guy. But, I liked Milroe, and I like Simpson a lot too, but I like Milroe better on Saturday.
Up against the break, stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, their compact equipment provider.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
When the Lake Martin area wants country, it turns to Kalijah Country 97.5. Lake Martin's best country.
Goes like 1 margarita, 2 margarita, 3 margarita shot. And if the house just keeps on winning, I got a wild card up my sleeve. I wish grandpa's never died.
Lake Martin's best country is on Kalijah Country 97.5.
Re-elect Richard LeGrand Sr., Lee County Commissioner, District 5. Why? Work with the Beauregard community with the EF4 tornado devastation to sort through debris, help restructure lives for the people that lost homes, establish Juneteenth as a paid holiday in Lee County. A playground in Lochapoka to include 4 acres with a playground, service, organized trash collection on Lochapoka roadsides. Whether you vote absentee ballot or you go to the polls, please re-elect yours truly, Richard LeGrand Sr., Lee County Commissioner, District 5. Paid for by Friends of Richard LeGrand Sr.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Give us a call if you'd like, 256-234-6221. We just talked about Alabama's A-Day game. Let's move into a little fun segment on some true and false, some what's the chances, all kind of stuff, over and under, who you got, whatever you want out there. We'll throw a –
Are they alive or dead?
Maybe, don't have that yet.
I know,
so, we ain't had that in a while.
I don't think Andy. I think Andy.
You were surprised at the last one. You were like, "That guy's been." I'm like, "No, he ain't dead."
Well, see,
you're like, "Man, he's got to be dead." I'm like, "No, he's not dead."
I'll say this: we need Andy for that because Andy does a good job of not giving it away in the asking of the question.
Right.
And then he always makes it a little suspenseful. He's like, "He's dead," and so Andy does a good job of that.
Hey, well, true false. You just talked about it. The head coach for Tennessee got a 4-game suspension for bumping an ump. So, bump the ump there. You get 4 games. True, false, is that long enough?
No. Look, at some point, Brett, we've got to – a buddy of ours who shall remain nameless, maybe watching the show, texted us and talked about how he was there for a fight at was it the Sportplex or some little league game here recently?
Right.
And he said nobody was really trying to break it up.
Right.
And he was just sort of like taken aback at how little intervention there was.
Well, people nowadays would rather pull their phone out and film it instead of go help.
And see, eventually we've got to take society back.
Good luck with that. That's what I agree 100%.
We've got to have something where you go, you just can't touch an umpire. You may hate the umpire.
Well, did you see the umpire in the softball game got punched in the face by a fan?
The female. She's
right.
And
it was a female attacking a female. I mean, but in the outcry on Facebook from the umpire was, you want to know why there's a shortage of umpires? Exactly. You want to know why there's nobody stepping up? Hey, look, I'll go one step further. I hate to bring politics into it, but I'm going to pull it into it since we're talking about society. It's the exact same reason why you don't see people volunteering to step up and be on school boards, be on city councils, be on county commissions, be mayors of cities, run for office of, anything. Because, my gosh, man, you go and you step out of the box and you just get chastised and pounded and ridiculed. And you're like, okay, well, if you think you do it, why don't you do it? And nobody wants to do it. But they just rather point a finger at those that are trying to do it. And look, I'll tell you, going back to the sports side of things, we all get pissed off at officials. especially when it's our team that gets the shaft. All right, period. That's just the way it's always been. That didn't start this year. That's been going on forever in sports. But now with social media, everything is just multiplied and magnified. Just everything gets out there, and everybody's always had an opinion, but social media now gives you a platform, and people go, you know what? You don't get paid a lot to do that. Why not? I love doing it. But the love of me doing it isn't greater than the ridicule and the crap I have to take, so I'm just not going to do it.
Well, another thing is they work hard. You know, everybody talks about they're blind and they're this and they're that, and they work hard.
And I can take some of that stuff if I were an umpire. I can take some, but it's to the point where, I mean, it's unbelievable what people say.
The vitriol they have to put up with is too much. So when I say, do I feel like if this were a one-off, you know, if this were just something that I thought, okay, wasn't symbolic of what we're going through, I would say.
So basically, you're saying make an example of this
I'm
guy.
saying at some point somebody's got to bite the bullet and say we're going to have to make an example.
Because everybody else is watching and go, man, he didn't give him 4 games when he bumped a guy. So, I mean.
And what's the big deal? What is the big deal about the manager not being there? It's not the same as the coach not being there, as a football coach not being there. It's not.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean 4 games in baseball is about the equivalent of a half in an SEC football game.
Maybe not even that.
Exactly.
Because they play so many.
I mean, and why won't people just own up to this? Again,
this Tennessee,
Brett,
if that guy were to sit out, basically what you're saying, if that guy were to just go away for the year, Tennessee's not going to all of a sudden just start losing games. They're going to run the same lineup out there. They're probably going to run the same pitching rotation. There's got to be some key decisions here and there in the game, but for the most part, not a lot's going to change.
And Brett, I go back to, do you see when you allow bumping of the ump, somebody's going to say, okay, well, there's the line. I'm going to put my toe over it a little more next time. And they're searching for the line. And so when our friend got on our text chain and said, y'all ain't going to believe this. At a Little League game, we had to break up, I think he said 2 fights. Unbelievable. I mean, it's a Little League game. What is wrong with
Look at the footage that we've seen of other Little League games where coaches just, getting a fight on the field. I mean, in front of little kids. I know people are passionate and they want to win, but people lose perspective, man.
Here's the deal,
crazy.
and I have no problem saying this. If you get in a fight, especially as a parent, at a Little League game, because you worried that somebody blew a call in a baseball game that's probably 11-10 in the first inning anyway, you're the problem. Seek help. And look, I think it's fine to say, I just need some help. Nobody should make fun of you. Just get some help. You've got major problems. You are the problem. It's not the official. It's not the kids. It's not the people running SportsBlitz. It's you.
And look, I'm going to be honest about it. And, I'm not trying to – I hope this doesn't hurt somebody's feelings. And, I'm not an official, so, this is just me stepping out and saying that, first of all, I applaud the people that especially in high school, there's such a deficiency of officials to call all these high school games. I can't remember what the number was, but on every Friday night in this state, there's an ungodly amount of high school football games going on. So you think you got to have a crew of 5 to 6 guys and girls to go call these games. Do the multiplication on that, man. It's just unbelievable. But
they make about $75.
Yeah, it's not. And they have jobs. They've got to leave their job. A lot of times it's an hour and a half, 2-hour drive to the game. They've got to get there early to check everything, make sure everything's going right. They got to call the game, and then they got to drive 2 hours back home, and they're getting home probably around 1 o'clock in the morning. And you start thinking about the hell they have to go through from fans and coaches and everything else. But I am going to say this. This thing kind of all compounds itself. We haven't had officiating at all levels, NFL all the way down to Little League, has suffered. The level of officiating is just not as good as it used to be. And I'm not saying that doesn't group everybody in there. They still have some good officials. But as a whole, you're getting what you're just getting who you can get, because you got to have people to fill those positions. So naturally, you're not getting the caliber of officiating that you probably once did.
Well, it's not only that, which is true. it's also that now we have more camera angles than ever before.
Oh, of course.
We've got everybody taping everything. So if you do blow a call in a Little League game, then go, see, you missed it. And you're like, yeah, well, when I was calling it, there was dust everywhere, and there are 2 players coming at me, and a mama yelling, and I did the best I could do.
Right.
And
it is amazing to watch pro football and baseball, and the amount of time. Even in the SEC, I watched games, both Alabama and Auburn this past weekend, how many times they had to go to the monitor, which – again, this is just killing the flow of the game. But how many times the call was upheld? And, I mean, and it was so bang, bang. I looked at it and go, man, I think the guy was safe. I don't think he was out. And they go back to the monitor, and the guy is out just by that much, and he made the call right. And I'm like, good Lord, man. These people make the call right probably 8 to 9 times out of 10.
Well, and again, I go back to this is why I'm all for getting rid of instant replay. Let's keep the flow of the game going. Listen, we're having fights as hard as we can have them. We're bumping ups as much as we can bump them with replay. So why not just say, let's get rid of this? Right. You know, to me, Brett, it's a little bit like the mask mandate being overturned, right? That
Thank God.
Everybody, a lot of people are, some people who have been anti-mandate being overturned have been like, well, now I'm not going to fly on the airplane. And they're thinking, you know, but because my mom had COVID and died from it, well, then she had it while she was wearing masks, right? And so it didn't work.
Right.
And so the point is, everything is so black or white. You have to pick a side. And that was the other thing I was going to get to. Not only do we have replay, where these officials are scrutinized more than ever before, not only do we have more means to find out who these officials are personally, which is also a disgusting
there's
thought.
no doubt.
Then there's social media showing it over and over again. If you miss a call, if you do this. So, Brett, that's why I've been advocating when I see a coach come out of the coach's box. Well, like John Calipari, for instance, he's out of the coach's box all the time. And I'm thinking, make him go back in the coach's box. And if he complains about it, throw him out. And say, at the end of the game, we are starting something new. Right. You're not coming out of the coach's box, and you're not getting on the court. Because what we've allowed you to do is inch more and more and more.
Right.
And you start taking and taking and taking. And we've gotten to a point now where people are bumping umpires.
Well, supposedly they implemented a rule in college football where if a coach steps on the field outside the white, it's an automatic 15-yarder. That is not – man, there's guys out to the hash almost sometimes hollering and yelling at stuff, and then they just tell them to get back. So a lot of times they make the rule. They don't enforce it.
Well, that has to be enforced. And I think I go back to what I said during basketball season, Brett. I want a concerted effort to, for 1 year, say we're going to call fouls now. We're not going to do any of this, we can't call that in this situation. We're calling everything. And we're going to get everybody used to playing basketball the way it's supposed to be played. It's not supposed to be as physical as it is now. It's not supposed to be that way. Right. That's not the intent.
If the next true false and what are the chances take that long, we won't have much time left in the show.
Was that question to take too much of the show?
Yeah, it only took about 16 minutes, I think. Up against the break. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Hi, I'm Scott Blake.
I'm Angie Richardson, and we are the loan team here at Movement Mortgage.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've gone through the process before,
our mission is to help you move forward with the purchase of your future plans. Call me at 256-397-2771.
or call me at 256-794-1003.
Scott Blake, NMLS number 527945. Angie Richardson, NMLS number 216556. Movement Mortgage supports equal housing opportunity, NMLS number 39179. For licensing information, please visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Castelluccio Fine Italian Dining in downtown Alexander City is rapidly becoming the region standard for Italian cuisine, as well as hand-cut filet mignon, fresh Gulf seafood, and the area's best Italian import wine selection. We offer true old-world charm with unmatched hospitality. Like Castelluccio Fine Dining on Facebook to keep up with daily lunch and dinner specials. Also new, we offer catering for your family and small business, so call and order. Castelluccio, downtown Alexander City, where the only thing that rivals the flavor is the dining experience.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. A very short segment. We got to get caught back up, so let's go to the phone lines here.
All right. Caller, you on there. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's Morris from Anniston. How y'all doing tonight?
Morris, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I wasn't going to call, but y'all got me stirred up with talking about these instant replays. Well, they're not instant anymore.
There's nothing instant about it.
I think it was women's softball yesterday, and I'm not a big, baseball and softball and all, but I do have common sense. And the girl that was running to first, they had her safe, the official, but I don't know how long they spent looking at that and dissecting it, and it turned out the official was right. It was something about the glove touching the ground or something. I'm not familiar with all the rules and regulations on that. But going to the football, which I do know, and I saw this more than once last year, and I'm sure y'all did too, where you could count when they showed the replay 1001, 1002, 1003, and you knew what the call was. And I'd say two officials huddled up around the camera with their earphones on, and I'm sure in Birmingham they was looking at it. And it'd take, I may be exaggerating, but it seemed like it was 5 minutes, and the whole flow of the game went. Now, I think in certain instances, replay is good, but they have went completely overboard with that. And like I said, I'm sure you two guys are going to agree with me because I've been watching you, but it just aggravates the stew out of me when I get in the game. And you got these people, and then you got the colored people, the announcers, and you've got this receiver that's made this great catch, and I don't care whose team he's on. And I will say I'm pretty good about that, even if it's the other team. And he's got a good catch, and they keep saying, well, now, I believe it lifted his fingers just a little bit. Yeah. Going, man, what happened to just making a great catch? But anyway, I don't mean to rattle on, but I'll let you guys go. And I do like both of y'all really good.
Hey, Morris, before you go, I do want to tell you that Coach Billy Coleman did he did let me know he met you this past Sunday, and he said he enjoyed talking to you, and I know you talked about me a little bit. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, y'all need to get him on him, man. That guy's something else, ain't he?
Hey, Coach Coleman's a good man, no doubt.
All right. Well, I'm going to go where I can hear it on the TV. I'm a little hard of hearing, so I'm going to cut the TV back up right here.
Thank you. Thank you, Morris. Appreciate you so much.
Yeah, he goes back to what I listened.
He made some great points.
He does, and what he said, he did say something interesting in there if you caught it. He said, I think there's some instances where there should be replay. See, to me, that's the problem. What instances are those? Because we talked about in the break that if you're an Auburn fan, why didn't you replay the double dribble? It was obvious. It affected the game. And why didn't you replay it?
It affected it so much as if you had gone back and replayed that, the game would have been over.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing, though, you can't replay that, but you can replay this other thing, which doesn't seem quite as important in the first half. And so my point is, we can either just say we're not going to have momentum in sports anymore, which is one of the purest.
What about saying that? What about saying only replay scoring plays? Only replay, where you're putting points on the board. Now, I'm with you, but if you're going to say, look, let's not replay every, like he said, the ball. I mean, we have analyzed a catch down to the point where I don't even know what it is anymore. We've analyzed targeting now that the whole rule has changed. We don't even know what targeting is anymore. It started out doing this. Now it's morphed into this. Now it's something totally different. I'm okay with saying, the heck with all that crap. Okay, good luck. Sometimes it's going to go your way. Sometimes it's not. But on scoring plays where points are actually being put on the board, if it's iffy, replay it.
Well, how about this then? Let me give you a scenario. What if you get a player and he's down at the 1-inch line, but they call him down at the 1-inch line, but maybe he scored.
Well, maybe that.
But that's not a scoring play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, and I see what you're saying. Maybe it could be a caveat to the point where if it's within a half a yard of the goal line.
But see, Brett, to me, that's where we start getting into this. Okay, because the next time what'll happen, it'll be, oh, well, now, this, we need it a little bit more.
Well, I know it's kind of goes back to the NCAA tournament. Well, I know that, but I really feel like you could wipe all this other crap out and say, if it's impactful to the score, if it's impactful to the score, if it is a guy getting marked down where it looks like the ball went over the goal line or the ball was marked short, to me that classifies as a scoring play because you're talking about putting points on the board or not putting points on the board.
Well, then the other argument would be, what if you're making a last-second drive and it's an issue of a first down or not? I mean, that's as important as a scoring play.
Could be.
So my point is, you either got to have replay and have it.
Well, that's what
and decide that we're going to kill momentum out of sports, which is one of the most pure aspects of sports. One of the great.
It's a sacrifice. There's no doubt.
There's nothing better than momentum in a sports game, and I'm talking about even if your team's kicking butt and you got it rolling, or if it's the other way where you dread. You're like, oh
the
my
thing
God,
that's so and on the flip side of that is with us being fans of our team, if it were to impact the ending of a game and we didn't have replay and it was like they made the wrong call, if they'd have replayed it, it would have been the other way. The problem is fans can't go, oh, well, that's just part of it. We got to live with it and just move on. Fans are too daggone fanatical, man. They can't handle it.
But Brett, I'm saying we've already
it leads to all the stuff we're talking about.
I can think of two instances already. The double dribble in the Auburn game and the pick play Clemson against Alabama 2016. It was an obvious pick play. They just didn't call it. If you replay that, you call it, and Alabama wins. Instead, you don't replay that for some reason because it's unreviewable.
Both of them were ridiculously impactful.
We still move forward.
Well, we do.
So I feel like, okay, sometimes you're going to get screwed by a bad call. We still get screwed by bad calls.
Yeah, and that's not going to stop. So, but again, I think the reason the replay is there is to try to cut down on that. But you know what the sacrifice of that is? The momentum of the game, like you just talked about. Up against the break, stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City, Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry?
Fast, fresh, and friendly. That's the Allen Brew Market mission to our customers on the go. Allen Brew Markets of Talladega County fuel your vehicle and you with the best coffee, drinks, snacks, and food so you can get your day on the fast track. Allen Brew Markets are always convenient with Sylacauga locations on Main Avenue, Highway 280, and Old Birmingham Highway. Allen Brew Markets has everything for the family on the go, and we're always brewing up great specials. Fast, fresh, and friendly. Our guarantee to you.
The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1. With 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best in comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans. Unmatched selection. 2. Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sale. And 3. The Sarah Automotive price won't be beat and delivers lower payments and huge value on your next buy. Shop online or on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to SportsBlitz Live. Only a few minutes here before the top of the hour break. We'll move into the next true. Boy, this thing took 30 minutes. So,
Brett, can I? And I know this doesn't. I'm sorry, I don't want to. Since we only have a second, I'll tell you this. I saw something else today. If there's been nothing will make you lose hope in humanity like Twitter. Okay,
it is a garbage.
But I've been to Twitter a lot and seen the people who just the mask mandate stuff has just got everybody up in arms one way or the other. And but I saw something today that made me realize everybody needs to forget about the mask mandate and concentrate on this. The catch me outside, how about that girl? She just bought a home in cash in Florida for $6 million. She has been making a boatload of money. She had her own OnlyFans account. She's only 19 years old. She also made some celebrity appearances because of that whole catch me outside thing. She's worth $1 gazillion, and it's one of those couldn't spell IBMs if you find her an
she didn't know what her name is.
But
the level of ignorance of that girl. And it wasn't an act. That's the crazy thing. That's how just dumb she was.
But the thing is, that's
what we're rewarding.
Part of me,
that's what we're rewarding.
Part of me is like, I understand that's America. You get your opportunity. But you're right.
That's what we reward.
This. We're
catch me outside. Catch me. I know. That's what we reward.
It lets you know that we are a meteorite, or not a meteorite, a meteor needs to hit us.
I'm not going to go into all this because we're just not going to die.
We need to be like the dinosaurs.
The emojis that were just released. That's not even possible.
I know.
It's not even physically possible.
If I were the good Lord, I'd say, you know what? I think I'd be like I used to do on Nintendo. I'm going to reset. This thing gotten out of control.
Time has come.
Time has come. Let's just reset this whole mother. I don't know how religious everybody is, but I would hit the Nintendo reset on Civilization.
We have blurred lines. Don't even begin to describe.
I'm telling you.
I'm serious. It is wild that the age that we live in and some of the stuff that garners the attention and you look at some people that really go out there and bust their rear end to try to do the right thing, and you look at the minuscule amount that they're able to make and provide for their family, and then you get ghetto girl over here.
Catch me outside.
Yeah, catch me outside.
Buying homes for $6 million. And I may sound like I'm jealous. Look, I'm all for everybody go get what you want. I don't want a house in Florida for $6 million. I don't want it. But it does say, how brave.
How do you look? I know some kids that have, hundreds of thousands of YouTube subscribers or followers on whatever, and they're getting paid monthly way more than either one of us.
Yeah.
And all they do is just get on and make videos about crap that you're like, why are people watching it? Then I look down and go, I'm watching it. No wonder they make
I'm in the rabbit hole with you. And here's my daughter, ever since she's been 3, has been able to get on YouTube, and she follows the family, the Tannerites or whatever all that stuff is. And I was like, now, God bless them. Because they did this first, and so more power to him. It's sort of like Christopher Columbus. He didn't discover nothing; he just landed somewhere.
He just pulled
and
up,
so he gets
pulled up and said, "Well, dang."
That's again, he's truly American. He just landed somewhere, gets a bunch of money, and everybody goes on. But if it could have been the Robinsons or the Pritchards instead of the Tannerites,
it could have.
But and part of me is like, I'm going to start videoing some of the crazy stuff around my house, and we're just going to see how many views I get.
That's where we have.
The problem is, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to have 7 views until my funeral. And I'll be like, look at this moron.
You've seen the Allstate commercial, the one, what is it, Mayhem? He goes, and he calls it, he said this is going to get tens of views.
And that's true. See, everybody thinks you just put, I'm going to tell you, Brett, here's another.
It don't work for everybody.
We have been doing the YouTube channel SportsBlitz. Now, we hadn't pimped it as much as we probably should.
Right.
But I got the podcast for Locked On Bama. I've been working my tail off on social media. I'm about to get to 1,000. We're right there at 1,000 subscribers. But I'm like, how do people do this? Because
it's almost like when I look down at how many tweets somebody has, and you look down and I think, well, man, I thought I tweeted a lot and I had like 4,500 tweets. I'm like, somebody tweeted 4,500 times today. I'm like, did they do anything else but tweet?
Well, here's the other thing. That you do that, and the moment you become popular or you save a gaggle of babies from a burning kindergarten,
right?
People go, man, what a hero! Look what he tweeted in 2012.
That doesn't scroll all the way down.
They've gone all the way to the bottom of your Twitter, and they have found something you liked in 2012 and said he doesn't even like so-and-so.
What a world we live in. So up against top of the hour break. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto, central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air.
Let me say this too,
man,
that I've been to Phoenix and Ohio recently and some other places, and been flying a lot, and everybody's had the mask on.
I mean, thank God that you can fly now without it.
And look, I'm going to tell you, for anybody upset and they're worried about flying, let me tell you something. They had become less and less stringent about this anyway. I mean, mine was sort of on my nose, like about right here, because they had a little metal thing as one of those KN95, and like usually they'll come by and say, pick it up, do it. They were people just having it hang down, and
do you see where the
stewardesses and the flight attendants and the pilots and they're tired of dealing. And
did you see the girl get emotional yesterday? Somebody was filming the announcement of the first flight. And she just broke down up there giving the, pre-flight instructions. She goes, and now, by choice, you can either way. I mean, and she broke down, started crying. I mean, they have been put through more than anybody. I mean, nurses, people just don't realize.
And nurses too. And they're just, all they're trying to do is do what they've been told to do.
That's exactly
They don't want to do it.
No.
That's
almost like an official, like we talked about. They didn't want to screw the call up. I don't think.
No.
They tried to do the right thing, but they get chastised. All right, true false. We're back in the game here.
Question number 2.
If this one takes 40 minutes, the show will be over. So Malik Willis leads an NFL team to the playoffs one day.
Wow, that is an interesting question. Why not say true? Because I think he's going to be in a pretty good spot. He's probably going to go.
He's gotten bigger. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he's big. He's probably going to go somewhere between 9 and 15. So he'll get on a pretty good team. Not a team. He's not going to get on the Jaguars.
Right.
They have need forever to get back.
Right.
He's going to be on a decent squad. I think he could do that, and I do think he's the best quarterback in this draft. I think it's a very bad quarterback draft, but I think he's the best quarterback in it. And I think he could do that.
Kudos to that guy. I mean, he's kind of made a name for himself. He's done some good things. Kyle said, "Did BRHS move into a better or worse region?" Personally, I was glad to see Dave will move away from Montgomery Catholic's region. He said they are something, man. Yeah, they're very good. I thought Benjamin Russell moved into the region. They still have a lot of the same region opponents they had. Of course, they lost Helena. They lost I forgot a couple more, but they picked up Briarwood and Homewood, which notoriously have been really good, fun games between Benjamin Russell and those two teams over the last 20, 25 years. Glad to see them back. The quality of football, we'll still have Calera, we'll still have Pelham, Chilton County, those teams. I think I like the region. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a good, fun region in Class 6A. What are the chances Alabama and Georgia play each other in the college football championship game 2 years in a row?
I'm going to say is 20%. That may be a little high because, again, I think you have to assume if that's going to happen that both teams either get to the SEC title game undefeated or one only has one loss and they beat the other one that is undefeated. That's how it has to happen. But now Georgia.
How do you look at a game? I'm going to say this because how do you look at a game where you play a team, a few weeks later you play that team again for another? It was look, and I'm trying to say this in the easiest way I can. Okay. Alabama beat Georgia in the SEC championship. So on that particular day, they got the trophy. Well, Georgia turned around and beat Alabama on happens to be the national championship game. So they just happened to get that trophy. They split. I hate to be that way, but you can say, okay, that one was for the national championship. Okay, I get it. Well, the other one's for the SEC championship. So you got two teams from the same conference. One of them won the national championship, and the other one won the SEC. I mean, it just it's a split, man.
My argument would be that if I were Georgia, like, hey, part of the national championship is you got 2 extra games, so you got to get through that.
Well, I get that,
and
but
so,
I mean,
I know, I hear what you're saying, and there is part of, part of me, a college football fan, like.
Well, I mean, it was like Auburn, Georgia. I mean, they played in the regular season. And a couple of weeks later, they turned around and played again, and Georgia won that one, but Auburn blew them out. I mean, it's just like, man, you split. I mean, you won the trophy. Well, I get it.
The Alabama one and Georgia one is probably even better to look at because it was both on neutral.
Both on neutral. I get that.
Now, the one thing I'll say about this, we have rematches in every other sport. We have rematches in Super Bowls. We have rematches in national championship games. We have rematches in the NCAA tournament. We have rematches in college baseballs. We had 4 SEC teams make the World Series not long ago. So, or in Major League Baseball, they play each other during their year.
Sure.
It doesn't bother me as much because I think right now, especially last year, Alabama and Georgia were clearly the top.
Oh, I'm not arguing
so
that.
I'm not worried about that. But the reason I think, going back to this question, the reason it may not happen again, it was a perfect storm for if Alabama had lost to Georgia in the SEC title game. It would have been. I doubt they would have made it because they could have just because of the way other things fell. But it would have been tougher for them to make it. It probably would have been somebody like, was it Baylor? Maybe Baylor get in. Maybe. But anyway, you have to have the scenario where either both of them are undefeated and then one of them loses a close game, or one of them's undefeated, one of them's got 1 loss, the 1-loss team wins, and then they both get in. And, that could happen again, but I'll tell you something, and I watched Georgia's G-Day game. First of all, Rick Gilbert looked really good. I hate to say it. If he has his head screwed on straight, he's going to be a problem.
Of course.
A problem.
No, of course.
Stetson Bennett looked okay. But Georgia did lose a lot on defense. The thing is, their schedule is just so easy. They got Oregon and Atlanta again. I don't see where Georgia loses. I mean, tell me who they lose to.
Well, I don't see a loss.
Now, that may be a problem for them, though, because if they make the SEC title game, they get there and play Alabama, Alabama beats them, people may not be able to give them that much leeway anymore because their schedule is not very good.
We'll have to wait and see. Against the break, stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
Okay, somebody's not wearing their seatbelt.
I don't wear seatbelts. Might wrinkle my shirt.
That's okay. I'm sure they can iron it before the funeral.
What funeral?
Yours. Almost 70% of people who die in car crashes aren't wearing a seatbelt.
Okay. There. You happy?
Just happy to be alive.
Seatbelts. It's hard to live without them. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
It's time to crank for bank. April 1st through July 4th, you'll be fishing Lake Martin for a chance to win big. With a $100 registration, you'll be fishing for $1 million from Big Fish Real Estate Group and Point Broadband, a 2022 Bass Cap Bass Boat from Russell Marine, 2022 Skeeter Bass Boat from Ashley Outdoors, a 2022 Chevy truck from Lake Martin Cabinetry and Allen Embry Premier Chevrolet, or catch a $1,500 tagged fish. Brought to you in part by Dunning Roofing, Lake Martin Tourism, Mortgage Pro, Fishing Chaos, and Lake Broadcasting. Visit Crank, the number 4 bank.com for details.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Kyle said Tennessee a threat to Georgia, I feel. He said, I like the quarterback a lot. So.
Okay, well, can I at least see if Tennessee's going to beat Georgia State first or whoever the heck?
Because they always struggle right out of the gate.
Let's everybody's telling me how good Tennessee's going to be this year, and I understand the Heupel train is picking up and blah, blah, blah. Let me see what Tennessee can do first. And
right.
Tennessee's problem is they are crossover game with Alabama.
Right.
So I hate to be this cocky about it, but it's been an automatic loss for 15 straight years.
It has.
So why would you think it's going to be different when Alabama's got the Heisman winner coming back, Will Anderson coming back?
Is that game at Alabama?
It's in Knoxville.
Okay.
But, so, I mean, yeah, and I'm hoping to go this year. That trip to Knoxville's a lot of fun. You ever been?
I have.
Yeah, I've been a bunch of times, and I love it. It's been a lot more fun lately.
Yeah,
but,
it's been a lot.
Yeah, I've been.
What's lately? 15 years.
Well, actually, I've only been once when Alabama lost, and that was in '94 when Jay Graham.
What was the last time Alabama lost? It was the 5 overtime game.
They lost in 06. They lost. Mike Shula was coaching, and every time Alabama got close to the goal line, he just kept kicking field goals. He'd never go for it. And, we were like, just hand it to Tim Castile and do something. Yeah. And I remember Simeon Castile actually picked up a fumble and was about to score, and he got run down. I said, well, we ain't scoring. I mean, he was like real close. We ain't scoring. We didn't score. And then in 07, of course, Alabama had 4 players suspended for that game. That was the textbut.
I remember that, yeah.
And everybody, the line shifted immediately, and then Alabama blew them out.
It's crazy, isn't it? Been a lot of kids that are 15 years old that never seen.
Seriously, there is a good chance, I would say at least a 50-50 shot, if not better, that you might graduate high school as a Tennessee fan and never have seen Tennessee beat Alabama. That's nuts.
That is ridiculous. That is unheard of. All right, what's the chances? What's the chances? Brandon Huntley Hatfield transfers to Auburn.
I bet you it ends up being that Broom guy over him, and that's who I'd probably rather have.
Right.
But, I'd say Auburn gets one of them, so why not say, it's 40% him, 60% the other guy.
Okay. More impactful transfer, Spencer Rattler or Caleb Williams?
Oh, I'm going Caleb Williams.
I'm going Caleb Williams.
I mean, first of all, he's playing for a more offensive-minded coach and an easier conference with better weapons. So other than that, he's better.
Well, he's going to the coach that recruited him that knows his stuff.
And he's better.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, he beat Spencer Rattler out. You probably don't care on this one, but throw an answer out there. Who you got, Freddie Freeman or Matt Olson?
I like Freddie Freeman just because
you know who Matt Olson is.
No, but I like Freddie Freeman. I didn't.
Last night was emotional for him. He had his first home run of the year against Atlanta.
I know, that's crazy.
But you could tell in the pregame interview he broke down, cried. Yeah. I mean, he's like, man, this guy, he's a Brave through and through, and he talked about how much it meant to him pulling up to the stadium to see those number 5 jerseys walking to the stadium. He said, man, I didn't take any of that for granted. He said, I love Braves country. I always will. And the way he kind of got.
You think he'll get booed when he comes back?
I doubt. No. I
bet he does.
I don't think he gets booed. It wasn't his fault. The thing is I think so many Atlanta fans were pulling for him and wanting him to stay. And, he didn't even know he was getting traded. All of a sudden he finds out, man, you're gone. And it's like, what the crap? It's. And that's one of those things.
Wasn't part of it, though, they couldn't come to a deal with him?
Well,
so they felt like they had to?
I think they had that part maybe figured out, and I just think that maybe some players, Ronald Acuna, who may be the future of Atlanta, had said, I don't really get along.
It's not like Freddie Freeman's an elder statesman.
No, that's right. But, but Matt Olson's 5 years younger. I mean, he's kind of takes his place. He did lead the league in RBIs. He's a great hitter, very similar to Freddie. It was a good night for Freddie Freeman. They get the win. And, I really think he probably felt remorseful a little bit about it. He wanted to show Atlanta, hey, this is what you lost. And so, but anyway, I don't know. That's a tough one for me. If I'm a Brave through and through, and I know Matt Olson's great, and I know he's got a little bit longer probably than Freeman, but I'm probably sticking with Freeman just because of the loyalty. I mean, that goes a long way. All right, over-under. 2 years of existence for the USFL. It's the first time we've really talked about it.
Gosh, I appreciate their effort. I really do, and I like the whole.
But we know it's not going to last.
I mean, history tells me it's not going to last. But I do feel like I enjoyed it. I know some people that went to the game in Birmingham. They enjoyed it. I'm hoping to go this
and I think and I don't think that's going to be the average crowd. I think the excitement of it being the first game, hey, let's go check it out. Let's go see what it's about. And now as you move into the season, people are going to go, well, I got other things I want to do.
Let me say this. The crowd wasn't actually great, and the attendance was really bad for the other games not involved.
Well, on Easter Sunday, it was not a good time.
It was Easter weekend,
right,
and the weather was awful.
Terrible.
So I don't.
Wasn't a bad crowd for that Stallions game.
No, it wasn't a bad crowd. But they said it was 40-something thousand. It's probably half that.
Yeah.
And that's so we'd lie about 82.
Fine.
I mean, it's.
So you think it'll make it?
No,
More than two, over under 2
no,
years.
I'm going to say under, but I'm pulling for it. All these other USFLs, I hadn't.
It wasn't bad football to me. I mean, I know. Look, I talked to my dad about it, and he's right. I mean, there's not really a lot of. I mean, I'm not no offense. There's a lot of no names. So you're not really grasping. You're not tuning it in to watch Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Or, you don't know any of the quarterbacks. Shea Patterson, you knew.
Yeah.
I mean.
Did you see what he did?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, listen, Brett, I wish there were some college – I wish Johnny Manziel, by the way, who threw a touchdown pass to Terrell Owens in some league.
In a fan-controlled arena. What is that?
Why can't Manziel play in this thing? Is he that far gone?
I don't know.
Terrell Owens is 48, and I bet he could play.
Oh, he'd start in tomorrow. I mean, I don't understand why maybe you don't go that route. I mean, that would make it more interesting. Maybe you start seeing some of that. Maybe you start seeing some of those guys kind of drift in as it gets established. I don't know. But anyway, I think that's the part that people are going, that's why it won't succeed, because there's nothing to cling to.
Well, I wish that maybe this is too hard to do, and maybe the NFL players wouldn't go for this, but maybe you could say, as an NFL – the NFL could say, look, we want to send some of our guys that are on the fence about, making the team or whatever, send some of our practice squad guys down there and see how they do.
The last time the USFL was in existence was, late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah.
I talked to somebody this weekend, and he said, man, the reason it was so much fun to watch, Stallions games were so much fun to watch, is because it had Alabama and Auburn players on the team. Mm-hmm. And you had SEC players scattered in the whole league, and people are like, man, I know that guy. And that guy's good. I remember when he played at Florida. I remember he played at Georgia or whatever. And then I think that was a bigger hit. I think I got to work on that. I got to get some more.
They had two Heisman winners that we know of. They had Flutie and they had Herschel Walker.
Right.
And then they had Jim Kelly who won national.
Well, and then Marcus Dupree decided to go with the USFL over the NFL.
Yeah.
I remember how big a deal that was. So, I don't know. Up against the break. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Now is the best time to sell your current home, as it's a seller's market, meaning that on average you can get up to 96% of your asking price. Who's the most aggressive and most experienced to help you sell your home?
Hi, I'm Rhonda Gaskins, broker Century 21 Lake Area Realty in the Lake Martin area. We are getting a 96% return on our listing price to sales price in this area. Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
GillsOpelika.info. Get pre-approved in minutes online at GillsOpelika.info for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Gills Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone, to SportsBlitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Now that we made it through the longest edition of True False, what are the chances, over, under, whatever. Operation Tiger Takeover. Have you heard about that with Auburn? All right, your thoughts on that? Let me read what it is first, in case maybe somebody doesn't know what the heck. What is that? Okay, due to COVID restrictions, I'm just going to read a little bit here. Taking away 2 years of off-campus visits for college football coaches, Auburn football's on-field staff will be on the road beginning Monday morning for a spring evaluation period. First time since 2019, when Brian Harson's 10 assistants began the first stage of what they are calling Operation Tiger Takeover, with plans to make high school visits in Alabama a major focus early in the 6-week period. Glad that they decided that was important. You know, I mean, we've talked about that on Auburn Blitz for a while. With plans to visit 230 high schools in Alabama during a 12-day period to open up the evaluation period, several of Auburn's assistants have plans to visit as many as 40 schools in the first week. That should be important for Auburn program for 23 and 24. Classes in Alabama, 2 of the best years ever in terms of talent in the state. So just kind of your thoughts on that.
Well, a few things that I called in and talked about it on Auburn Blitz today. Randy is concerned, and I think his concerns are valid, where he's like, okay, great. They decided to go start visiting folks. That's awesome. They're only about a year and a half behind everybody else. And see, when you start recruiting, you're recruiting now almost for the next year, you know, because it's these relationships get formed so early. And the problem Harsin is going up against, number one, he didn't have great roots in this state to begin with.
Zero roots.
Zero.
He had no
And then
roots.
he's going up against, you know, one of the greatest recruiters in the country in Kirby Smart, one of the greatest coach of all time in Nick Saban, a super hungry coach who's getting it done on the recruiting trail, knows what to do, and Billy Napier in Florida. I mean, he's surrounded by very, very good recruiters that have Southern ties. And so it's a bit of a problem. Now, it's a start. You know, you can't just say, well, it's too little, too late. You got to start somewhere. But what we were talking about was how loaded the state is. And my buddy who does Locked On Bama with me, Jimmy Stein, now writes for On3 Sports, which is, you know, quickly becoming a very big website in the realm of 24/7 and Rivals. And they just came out with their top 300 guys. 12 Alabama guys, state of Alabama guys, are in the top 100. That's unprecedented.
No,
that's 12% of their top 100 is from our little old state right here. That's what Texas puts out. That's what California puts out. Now, on the surface, you say, well, that's great for Auburn. Alabama can't get them all. And what? But here's the problem, and this is a little bit for Alabama too. It's not quite as big a deal for Alabama, but same thing. The number one player, James Smith, looks like it's an Alabama-Georgia thing kind of right now. Number two player is A.J. Harris. It looks like it's going to be Clemson, Georgia, Florida, like not staying in state. Then there's Quay Russell, who is the teammate of James Smith. He's sort of Alabama, Georgia. A lot of people think he's going to Georgia. There's Tamarian Parker at Central Phoenix City. A lot of people have him crystal balled to Georgia. Chris Vizina, quarterback out of Briarwood, who's amazing. I love him. He's headed to Clemson. There's already Sylvester Smith, who's a nice safety prospect, number 13 prospect in the state. He's crystal balled to Tennessee. They're one of the top 20 players already committed to Arkansas. So my point is, when you look at it on the surface, you're like, oh, if the state of Alabama has 25 4- or 5-star guys, even if Alabama gets 15 of them, we ought to get 10 of them. Well, I think the truth is going to be more like Alabama get 10, and then they're like 7 or 8 are going to go out of state. And I'm talking about to the detriment of both of us. Yeah. And so because now we're recruiting against Billy Napier, again, who's very good. Kirby Smart's going to come in here and take some dudes. You can just bet on that. It just and our best quarterback in this state, probably the best quarterback in the state in some time, is headed to Clemson. That's again, I trust in Alabama staff. I don't know how you feel about this from Auburn perspective. I trust in Alabama staff because they're going after Eli Holstein and Arch Manning. Those are probably the two best quarterbacks in the country, so I'm down with it. I hope they get one. If they don't get one, it'll be upsetting because this kid grew up an Alabama fan. But if I'm an Auburn fan, I'm thinking, why didn't we sell out for this kid? This kid's awesome. I mean, Brett, I can't tell you how much I think.
And he was high on Auburn. That's the thing. I mean, I think it was Auburn, Clemson, and I'm not saying that the attempted coup had something to do with it, but I'm thinking it may have. Again, we want to criticize Brian Harsin and his staff, and I think they deserve some criticism for walking into this job maybe not thinking. I don't know what they were thinking. Okay, but what the Good Old Boy Network decided to do damaged him to a point where, okay, you thought it was hard on him now.
It's really hard now.
I mean, or then it's impossible because you don't know the impact that it had on a Vizina that said, man, I'd like to stay in state. My family's here. If I had to choose, I'd probably pick Auburn over Clemson. But is Coach Harsin going to be there next year?
Yeah, I don't blame him.
And I know Dabo Swinney's not going anywhere at Clemson, so I think he went with a safer bet. I think Auburn may have cost itself a player like him. So in fairness to Brian Harsin, he probably tried everything he could because it was between those two schools, I think. And then he ends up going with
and again, you can't. Obviously, he's got a tie with Dabo Swinney, super Christian guy, and I think this guy goes to Briarwood Christian. So I mean, he's obviously a strong believer in his faith, and Brian Harsin's faith sort of ambiguous. And so I'm just saying, it's one of those things where it's this banner year, and I think even Alabama. I'm not going to sit up here and be a total homer and say Alabama's going to get everybody because they're not. Because Georgia's going to come in and get some dudes, and these are dudes I want. I'm not going to pretend that I don't want some of these folks that Georgia's going to get, that Florida's going to get, that even Clemson's going to get. Carmelo English. I mean, who knows what he's going to do? I mean, the other wide receivers from Central Phoenix City have left the state. Why wouldn't he leave the state? I mean, now he released his top 5, and Clemson's not on it. But my point is that you and I and Randy and Andy, we've been talking about how good this class is going to be for years now.
Right.
And now here we are. And I'm looking and when I look at the percentages of where the experts think they're going, and I'm seeing, okay, yeah, there's, Alabama 50-50 on the top player in the state, which hadn't even been a question in late. And I'm like, okay, that's tough. The second player, 75% to Florida, 25% to Clemson. I'm like, uh-oh, all at a position of need for Alabama.
Right.
And it just may be funny that we have been both anxiously waiting this class, and gosh, what if Alabama and Auburn between them only get 50%?
They lose a lot of them.
Now, that'd still be good because there's still some really good players in this class.
No, I agree.
But I didn't even mention Tony Mitchell. No. Tony Mitchell's a guy that everybody thought was a lock for Alabama. Well, now a lot of people think it's Florida and Texas A&M in the lead. I mean,
well, these kids have, again, they have multiple opportunities. It's not just about going up the road anymore. There's other programs that are throwing money out there, NIL deals, and a lot of that comes into play. It's not just the way it used to be. There's a lot of different factors that are affecting decisions.
And I said this on Auburn Blitz today that, it used to be in the old days, when I say old days, 25 years ago, that when you were recruiting, you look at a depth chart and say, well, I can come in and play. Well, now I think it's almost the opposite of that, and Saban had a lot to do with that, where he's like, okay, yeah, you can go there and play, but you're going to be playing with inferior, talent, whatever.
Right.
You come here, you might sit a little bit. First of all, if you're good enough, you will play. He's proven that. But secondly, in practice, your practice is going to be harder than your games for the most part, and you're going to be prepared for the next level. So that strategy started working. Well, now I think the whole thing's turned around again, where who's going to pay me the most? Who's going to pay me the most?
That's really what it boils down to a lot.
And you can say,
and these kids know they can get the money.
And people keep saying, well, this always was going on just under the table. I don't think it was going on to this extent.
No, I don't.
You weren't getting no $8 million.
No, nobody was getting $8 million. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
And again, not everybody's getting $8 million. I understand that.
But you do have some out there getting that.
So I mean, it's going to be the coaches that learn to adapt to this
and it's not just football. It's not just football. It's basketball. It's everything.
And I was listening to another show, and an Auburn fan called in, was kind of mad about what Saban said about, is this what we want college football to be? Talking about NIL. And I said, look, I'm going to tell you something. I truly believe this, that Nick Saban cares about college football. His life is in college football, so he cares about it. And yes, he always wants to have the best team. Yes, he wants to go get the best talent. But at the same time, he understands that if Alabama and Ohio State and Clemson and Georgia are the only 4 teams that have everybody and nobody else has anything, that ain't a lot of fun. Now, that's not the way it is. I mean, still, Texas A&M sneaks up and beats Alabama last year. Purdue snuck around and beaten Ohio State. Right. But if the gap gets so wide that there's not even a chance anybody else can compete, what's the point of being the king of a kingdom where nobody else is there?
That's true. I summed it up perfect.
And that's what Saban is saying. He's like, look, yeah, we're the best, and Alabama's going to be fine. And I think I said this on Saturday. Alabama's going to be fine, but we're going to start culling these smaller teams, and then the teams that were in the middle, they're going to become the smaller teams, and then they'll start getting culled. Right. And eventually you're going to work your way down to where you have about 8 teams.
And that's about it.
And we don't want that.
No, it's not. That's not what the goal is, for sure. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More SportsBlitz Live right after this.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
For almost 10 years, there's been the go-to place for tires and automotive repair, Right Tire. Right Tire sells all makes of tires for anyone's vehicle and anyone's budget. And with Right Tire, you always get the right prompt service with the right price. Right Tire also can handle all of your bumper-to-bumper automotive needs with certified brake service, alignment, oil changes, tune-ups, and so much more. So when you want tires and automotive done right, see Right Tire on West Fort Williams in the heart of Sylacauga. Right work, right price, every time.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Become a member of the Superior family. Superior GMC Cadillac, Superior Hyundai, or Superior Automotive Pre-Owned. Between our 3 dealers in East Central Alabama, we offer the superior selection and service for any buyer's needs. All with the personal touch of being locally family-owned and operated. Check out any of our dealers online, or our 3 great lots in Anniston on Quintard, or our pre-owned Superstore Pell City, and join the Superior family of value.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating in there. I'm glad that wasn't a segment on the show. Anyway,
I just hope it wasn't live.
Yeah, no, I do too. Well, maybe it could have been.
The end of Sports Blitz.
Yeah, it probably would be. Would you rather? All right, let's do this because I want to have a little time with this because God knows the last segment took an hour and 15 minutes. So we need the next 20 to try to get through this. Have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future?
Oh, 10 minutes in the future.
Yeah, what good's 150
years?
What,
I'm not going to be here in 150
That's what I'm saying.
years.
What good is 150
I want to
years?
be – there was a movie about this called Next with Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
And
you think that's where we got this from?
No, and he could see about 10 minutes in the future, and he was just kicking ass in Vegas. That's what I'd do. I'd go straight to Vegas. And I'd own him. They'd be like, you have 19, sir. I double. Well, sir, that's crazy. I know a 2's coming. Double it. You know, that'd be me.
That's right.
Or I'd go to I'd win every poker tournament. I'd know who's bluffing. You know, that's what I'd do. Y'all wouldn't even believe me if I could see 150 years. In 150 years, y'all, we're all going to have robot butlers. You said, Luke, you so crazy. I'm seeing it right now. Well, nobody's going to be able to prove it for 150 years, and none of us will be here.
What I'd rather do is go forward in time, get the almanac, like Biff did.
Yeah. But that's it, Andy, I can't. That's the worst question. Well, if he said 10 years instead of 150 years, okay, that makes a little sense.
150 years.
But I don't want to see. Look, Louis C.K. has a great bit on this. He said the great thing. Now, I'm not starting a race thing, but he said the great thing about being white is you can get in a time machine and go back to any time in history, and everything's cool. He said, you're fine, no matter what period of time you go back to. He said, not everybody can do that. He said, now, we don't want to go into the future. He said, but we can go to the past.
Go backwards, there's no doubt. Okay, have telekinesis, move objects with your mind, or telepathy, ability to read minds. What would you want to do?
Boy,
the moving objects with the mind's a little stupid to me.
I don't know. I'd be the laziest person that ever was. I'd be sitting on the couch. It'd be a remote float hovering right above me.
I'm going with telepathy.
I think I'd go with telepathy too, because it'd be sort of cool.
Telepathy.
Again,
telepathy.
I'm beating your butt in poker every time we play. You ain't even beating me in rock, paper, scissors. There's nothing you gonna beat me in.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
But if I had telekinesis, if you did beat me,
I'd throw a rock at you.
I say it wasn't me that threw
I didn't throw it. All right. Okay. I already know the answer to this one for you, for me too, and for everybody on this show.
Go ahead.
Team up with Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman. I mean,
I'm going Wonder Woman.
I was about to say you.
Here's the deal. I'm going Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, but if Linda Carter, Wonder Woman, is involved, that's
the only.
It's game over.
That's the only Wonder Woman.
Yeah, this Gal Gadot is good looking.
Yeah, but I mean, but in our generation, there's only one.
Linda Carter still looks like somebody that belongs on a poster. She's gorgeous. She's so pretty.
She has stood the test of time.
Oh my God, she's so pretty.
Unbelievable. So, no brainer there for us, right?
Yeah.
All right. Give up air conditioning or the internet for the rest of your life.
Oh gosh. Okay, I mean, that sounds like a question I ask you in hell.
That's what Winston Churchill said. If you're going
through
hell, keep going.
I'm going to tell you the truth, Brett. I can't do without air conditioning. I just have to be dumb about everything else. I wouldn't be able to receive my Wikipedias and read about movies or any of that. I wouldn't know about recruiting. But I'm going to be feeling okay. As the older I get, the hotter I am at all times. I told you I went to Phoenix. It was hotter at night. I was sweating.
Well, all right, I'm gonna throw a curve on this. Do you like cold weather?
Yeah, I do like cold weather.
You do like cold weather. See, the older, okay, all right, I'm a fisherman. So what I have found out is the older I've gotten, the more I hate the thought of going out in just bone-chilling cold. Used to go fishing in whatever condition. It could be in the teens with wind blowing. But if I had a chance to go fishing, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bundle up. Man, I am so miserable now in that crap. It is just terrible.
But, Brett, when in the middle of July.
No, I'm not saying that that's not horrible, too. It's sweltering.
Even the mosquitoes, they're biting you like swiping sweat off their little insect brows. And I mean, it's tough.
But just the bone-chilling cold.
I know.
Just, God
but there's
almighty,
something
man.
about that, like if you're really hot and you go out in the cold for a second like that, it's refreshing.
I agree with
But
that.
if you're really cold and you go out in the hot sun in July, you get sticky here. You just get sticky. And then you go back in to the air conditioning and everything kind of freezes and you start stinking. It's just a whole thing.
It's just not good, is it? All right, so there we go. That one
Was that it?
That was it. That's the 4 that we had there. So
you needed more than that.
Well, I mean, the
air conditioning and internet one was bad.
The 10 minutes and the 150 years.
Again.
Why would you want to look 150 years in the future?
What does
it do?
What good does that do me?
I guess just to give you a snapshot at like how far civilization.
I don't even want to look 150 years in the past. I'm not like these people that want to cancel Abraham Lincoln. I'm fine. You know, even Bill Maher, who's
right,
pretty left leaning, he was like, "That's the problem. We got to quit canceling Abraham Lincoln. We don't have to dig up everybody's awfulness.
Well,
everybody's got a problem.
Everybody's got issues. Everybody had issues. I mean,
again, as my uncle once said when we were talking about Christopher Columbus Day and the mail wasn't running, he said, "What did Columbus do?" And really, all he did was land somewhere that was already there. He didn't discover nothing. He just got there. But what's wrong with just saying, you know what? Good bully on you for doing it.
You pulled up the right spot.
Yeah, you got lucky. Cool. I mean, why can't we just have a day without calling him a genocidal maniac?
Right.
We don't have to look at everybody's awfulness. We have a problem again in society and just enjoy. You can't enjoy Christmas.
People are on the hunt for the perfect human being, and there ain't one.
Well, there's not one. And look, you can choose to be miserable. You can choose to say, "I don't like Christmas because I'm not a Christian." And okay. Well, it is still kind of fun just to get together with your family, right? Is that okay?
Can't you find the good? Some people just can't find the good in anything.
I know.
That's the bottom line. I hate it. A miserable existence. But anyway, final segment of the show coming up right after this.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? But make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
At Russell Medical, our transitional care unit is a great alternative to nursing home care after a medical or surgical hospital stay. Transitional care increases strength and endurance through skilled nursing and therapy programs to promote a safe return home. Enjoy on-site therapy, private rooms, an activity center, and more. Call Russell Medical today to see if our transitional care unit is the right care for you.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment here of Sports Blitz Live. Again, want to thank everybody for joining us here on this Tuesday night, as you always do, and calling 256-234-6221, commenting on Facebook Live, however it is that you interact. We appreciate it more than you know. Just quickly, SEC baseball, better talk about it because Auburn and Alabama really in a tie for second right now in the West behind Arkansas. Arkansas is 11-4. Starting to find their form, just like they've got
a little rivalry budding with Tennessee too. Like they're jabbing back and forth.
They are. Auburn and Texas A&M and Alabama all at 8-7 in league
Who's Auburn
play.
have this weekend?
Auburn has South Carolina coming up, so should be. And then Alabama's got Georgia.
Yeah,
and
Tuscaloosa.
Right. So both really good opportunities. Georgia's 9-6; they're number 2 behind Tennessee. But Alabama's playing really good baseball, and Georgia comes to Alabama, so that should be good for them. South Carolina comes to Auburn, but then you go look at the bottom. You've got LSU 7-8, Mississippi State 6-9, Ole Miss 5-10.
They were number 1 just not very long ago. Yeah,
favorite to win the West. All right, on the flip side, Tennessee is obviously leaps and bounds ahead of everybody. 14-1 in league play. Georgia 9-6, and then you got Vanderbilt at 7-8. Not used to seeing the East with a bunch of losing records. Vanderbilt 7-8, Florida 6-9, South Carolina 6-9, Missouri 5-10, Kentucky 5-10. So right now the West is by far the stronger from top to bottom division, but Tennessee is far and away the best team right now. Softball for Alabama, they're 13-5. Arkansas is 11-4. Where did they come from? I mean, everything in Arkansas right now is just on top of the world.
Got it going.
Tennessee 10-6. Florida's 11-7. And you slide on down, Auburn has now fallen to 7-8. They're 32-9 overall. Alabama's 36-6. So there's only a few games difference in losses there. Arkansas's 32-8. So they only have one.
Who do they each have this weekend?
Auburn's out of conference. No, they're not.
No,
they're back in conference this weekend. They were out of conference this past weekend at Mississippi State, who, I mean, you look at Mississippi State, they're right there with Auburn. They're 7-8 and they're 26-17. Alabama goes to Texas A&M. Texas A&M's at the bottom of the league, 3-11. That ought to be a sweep.
Well, Alabama did just sweep Mississippi State too, but Mississippi State put up a fight. I mean, they were pretty good. Softball in this conference is just unbelievable as well. It's just overall, it just means more. I mean, Brett, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't want to buy
that's
it,
the slogan. That's the way it is. So, but right now, halfway through the season, as far as baseball is concerned, who would have thought Auburn and Alabama being a tie for second? About as good as you can ask for right now.
I bet it doesn't end this way. I bet they both fall back a little bit. I know now Alabama luckily has already taken on Tennessee, and look, you get one win against them, you feel like you've done yeoman's work. And I know Auburn's got Arkansas and Tennessee coming up. Alabama's got LSU coming up. That's not going to be easy. So, I mean, I think they'll both take a little bit of a step back, but overall, I think you can't help but feel good about
Think Alabama and Auburn can end 15-15 in league play?
I'd have to see the schedule. But, yeah, I think they can.
Well, Alabama's got Georgia, South Carolina, and LSU.
And that's
coming
it?
up. No, that's not it.
Okay, well, because Alabama and Auburn play each other.
That's right. Those are just the next 3. So that's just 9 more.
Boy, if Alabama can, so you got 9 games. If Alabama can just go, if they can go 5-4, 6-3 in that stretch, you'd feel great.
Well, you're going to be right there at it.
Yeah.
So both of them in a good position. I mean, Dave, at least halfway through the SEC schedule,
you got to feel pretty good about
They're
it.
one game over 500 halfway through.
They were picked 6th and 7th in the SEC West, I think.
And they're tied for second right now. I'll take it. So that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Sports Blitz Live. Again, want to thank everybody for tuning us in each and every Tuesday night. Again, want to thank everybody for watching and listening to Auburn Blitz every day, Monday through Friday, from noon to 1. And then on Saturday Sports Countdown gets your Saturday started from 7 to 9. We appreciate everybody. And, of course, our local program here in the Lake Martin area, Lake Martin Sports Roundup, really kind of focuses on a lot of the local area happenings going on, and Caleb kind of handles that show. We want to thank all of our guests, and we film that still at JR Sports Bar and Grill. JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heat and Air, our 2 partners on this program, been that way for years, and looking forward to many more years down the line. So, Luke, enjoyed it, buddy. It's been fun. Again, thanks to everybody for tuning us in. We'll be back on there tomorrow for Auburn Blitz at noon. For Luke Robinson, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We'll PF. See you next time.
At Russell Medical, our transitional care unit is a great alternative to nursing home care after a medical or surgical hospital stay. Transitional care increases strength and endurance through skilled nursing and therapy programs to promote a safe return home. Enjoy on-site therapy, private rooms, an activity center, and more. Call Russell Medical today to see if our transitional care unit is the right care for you.
SCAG, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that SCAG means productivity and reliability. Every SCAG mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. SCAG.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Why is Sarah Automotive Group on Highway 280 in Sylacauga the place for the best deals on your new ride? 3 compelling reasons. 1, with 3 full new car dealers on one lot, you get the best in comparison and incentives on Fords, Hondas, and Nissans with unmatched selection. 2, Sarah pays over market value for your trade to maintain East Central Alabama's best pre-owned vehicle selection and sales. And 3, the Sarah Automotive price won't be